cold. I fly really cold. When I was discharged from the military, me and my wife, I was 23 years. Till death do we part. Buried my wife. One day she looked at me and she said, I'm going to buy a pack of cigarettes. I said, okay, baby. Okay, baby was not the last words I wanted to say to my wife. For the next 8 months, my children asked me, where's mom? I did not know. I taught piano for 20 years.
Also, did your wife, leave you?
For 8 months, yes. My parents kids asked. All my students asked, all my PTA members asked. Where's your wife? I did not know. My neighbor kids found my wife's skeletal remains. And came and picked up my children.
She died?
And I was indicted for murder. And I signed a confession. 84 days later, the toxicology report came back from the coroner. I did not kill my wife.
It's for people accuse you
I'd
of killing your
already
wife.
signed a confession. I lost my mom. They put me in a mental institution for 90 days. I was taken out of there because I was convinced I'd killed my wife. Knowing now, that years later and wisdom later, it was killed. But I did not kill my wife. I love my wife.
Yeah, but you was accused of doing
And in a strange situation like that, Pensacola is where this happened, and it's a small town. We're famous already. So whenever the last house on the left came up on the news report on Coker Lane, they were talking about me. This happened 16 years ago. My wife had 5 miles. My wife also had muscular sclerosis. The last 13 years of our marriage, she was bedridden. I raised our children. When I got out of that mental institution, I couldn't go home. I had a home. Couldn't go there. There's ghosts everywhere. And all the church of home. But I couldn't go in that house. I didn't know anything else. I didn't even know how to feed, clothe myself on the street. But the poor are more generous. And they showed me how to live. I thrived. I took all my training and all my mental stability I had left. And one day I asked Christ in my heart. When I did, I asked for Christ like such a word Christian. Three days later, I was a mechanic. I've been a mechanic all my life. Someone dropped an engine on my hand the next. Now, at the time I saw my hand, I saw a hole in my hand. And I knew right then I'd asked for it. The doctor said, you got 7 broken bones in your hand. I said, I played the guitar. He said, you'll never play the guitar again. He lied. I did it 4 years. 4 years I played again. I still, this day, cannot get him to admit that he lied. He's my neighbor. From a small town. When he said go, I said, wait a minute, I gotta get my shoes from somebody's house. That night, I went to jail. Something I did not do. For 90 days, I did it again, 90 days. I sat in jail. And what I said was done. I wasn't even on camera. But if God wants something done, it's got to be done then. Obey. I've traveled 7 states. My only message is love one another as thyself. History.
So, got a question. So, what is the craziest thing that you have saw while being on the streets?
That's not fair.
In New Orleans.
You know that's not fair.
In New Orleans.
Okay, so I see the craziest thing, and the next day you see something crazier. That's not a fair question. To me, you gotta understand, I'm a country boy. Women don't talk the way they talk out here. It's not my culture. I accept it all, but it's not my culture. The craziest thing. Tragedy or funny?
Tragedy.
I stepped off that bus with a quarter-pound of drugs. He said, first day I was here. Three boys took a bike and busted over my head. When I stood up, I said, what the fuck? First one ran. The second one came with half heart. When I stepped over him, he must have been related to that third one. He was screaming, holding his knee. And around that third one came a law. When that ambulance driver was loading that second one up, the third one was gone. The very first one, he gone. He's small. But that ambulance driver pushed that last man into there. Like the red truck, I didn't even know about none of this. I watched it happen. I said I know because we didn't go to jail. I guess nobody else in the town would have, but I did. That cop took one step out. Looked at the ambulance driver. The ambulance driver shook her head. Cop looked at me, sat back in his car, didn't even ask me my name. I found that to be crazy. But I learned if you don't use a weapon, they don't take you to jail. That's a tragedy.
So I have one more question. But you know, since earlier you told me earlier about if the tragedy it had happened with your wife, like, do you ever think about your wife?
I'm broken. Like, all I have to say about that is if you don't marry your best friend, you're wasting your time. It's not gonna work. And she wasn't my best friend. I'm married for 17 years old. So almost 40. And I love my wife.
And so do you still have one relationship with your kids?
Out on your sleeve. Four of my kids think that I killed them. One of my child's committed suicide. I want to speak to one of my daughters. And that's the story in itself. The guy came up to me and handed me $50 and told me to go buy a phone. If you give me instructions, I do what you tell me to. I went and bought that phone. $25 per phone, Dollar General, $25 service. 2 hours later, my daughter calls me up. This is her daughter that told me something at her mother's funeral. I thought I'd never see her again. The very next week, she pulled up on me from Chattanooga, Tennessee, have lunch. And then she had to drive back, she had to go work next day. Yeah, unbound blessing. Takes a lot of work. But I owe, okay, the things I did over there. I mean, you walk into a debriefing room, and your estimated casualty report is 356. Well, what if a couple people are going to see their cousin that day? Well, it's 354, right? What if Uncle Larry's over at 355? I owe. Am I guilty yet? Am I forgetting yet? If by his stripes says healed, my faith is both mentally and physically. I had a very, very loving wife, very understanding. 20 plus years, I had the same night. Same night. My daughter, I was talking about, 38 years old, she asked me, Daddy, what about screaming in hospitals and stuff? She's 30 years old when I told her I served in the Marine Corps. You don't understand, I come on furlough, come down here in Nolazine, holding my daughter in my hand, you don't understand? I kept that life from her. It's not a good life. It's a horrible life. The reason why I don't deserve heaven, because before I jumped out at C-130, I knew exactly what I had to do. I don't make it do. He still took $2 million for the nuclear warhead resale use. Now I'm going to keep the political stuff out because I don't know the political stuff out.
One more question. What do you think it would take for you? What type of help do you think that you need
Benton Moss.
to actually, I'm like, get you up the
I already
streets?
got the answer. Benton Moss.
Huh?
Benton Moss. That man, this man approached me. He looked like he did a bid. He said, "Can I get your birth certificate and the police stamp card?" I said, "No, first. I already been through y'all crap." But I asked nothing about this man. This man been on the street with it. And they did a bid. Now he's casebook. The housing authority, I just talked to my last interview. The supervisor wanted to come out and meet me because it was so abnormal. I already had my housing doctor before I got to this. Benton Moss, she said Benton Moss did that. I wanted to meet that man. He was gone. But that's the answer to that question. That man, yeah, there's all these caseworkers up there. That guy, he's the reason why I'm getting off the street. I'm not getting a rapid housing. It's not the same. What is that? But he got me motivated. That's what it took. Last time they gave me a house, no big deal. Yeah, whatever. You're gonna give me out the street, I'll take it. This time it's gonna be mine instead of my coast's. You'll see me again. You will see me again.
And you know, hey, but we appreciate you for doing dinner today. You know, if we didn't want that much from you, we're gonna bless you after this.
But I do want to say, if you ever gave me $1 per shoes, clothes, if you even said get a job, haters make you great. Because I can sing through the accent or anything. I thank God. He man told me whoever got me there in New Orleans did. God changed my venue. Everybody loves the blues. Oh, and I'm going for a world record. Aretha Franklin. I'm gonna knock her name down a notch.
If you ain't on Nolazine, you ain't on